Hey guys, this is Rishi Gupta, and today I'm here to talk about a TV show on Netflix which is called The Sandman. Guys, The Sandman is a property from the stable of DC Comics, and it has been written by Neil Gaiman. So, full disclosure, guys, there was a dramatized version that was available on Audible. I'm sure it's still available, and I think around a year ago, I tried to listen to that particular dramatized performance of this particular comic book on Audible. And to be very honest, I couldn't get all of it. So I kind of, left it midway because there were too many subplots, too many characters, and the dramatized version, it made it very difficult to keep a tab of everything. So I'm sure a lot of people liked that version on Audible, but I personally was not able to follow it. So I kind of, let go of it, but I really found the premise to be pretty interesting. So when I kind of found out that it's going to be on Netflix, I was pretty excited because I had a chance of catching up to things that I was not able to while listening to that dramatized version on Audible. So guys, again, the reason I say that this is an interesting premise, this is an interesting concept, is because there are too many things available on streaming platforms that are repetitive. So recently I watched a couple of movies. One was The Gray Man, and one was Uncharted. So I'm sure you must have heard or probably watched both of these movies on Netflix. So both of them are very, very, very generic in nature. So Uncharted was the run-of-the-mill, treasure hunt movie wherein we have the characters and we have a treasure that needs to be found, and there's going to be a lot of double crossing, and it was really, really generic. And the same went for the Grey Man as well. So in the Grey Man, there's a super secret agency which employs a secret spy who's really good at his job, and now then there's some double crossing happening from the agency towards the spy, and now the spy has to fight against the agency that originally hired him, and now he has to uncover the truth about what's going on with the agency. So again, extremely generic stuff. So that's why I was looking for something that is new. The concept is new, the premise is new, and that is when the Sandman came on Netflix, and I was pretty pleased with that. So my verdict about the show is it's a good show, definitely. It is not exceptionally good, it's not out of the world, but it was definitely an interesting watch. So the reason I say that it was an interesting watch is that the premise that dream, desire, despair, death are siblings, and the Lord of Dreams, Sandman, Morpheus, whatever you might want to call him, is basically who regulates is someone who regulates the world of dreams, and if he is not there, the dream world collapses, or the humanity suffers. So this particular concept was pretty intriguing to me, and that's why I really liked watching this show. So this particular show is kind of divided into two or three acts. Let's divide it into two acts. The first act begins with the Lord of Dream, or rather, if we can correctly call him Dream. Dream being imprisoned by a magician, and he gets imprisoned for like 100 years. So when he's imprisoned, the dream world, goes to shit, and everything is destroyed. I mean, the dream world is destroyed, and the dream's three main tools, which is the pouch of sand, the ruby, and his helm, is lost in the human world. So once he breaks out of this imprisonment, he has to recover these three tools. So this particular thing forms the first act of the TV show, which I think is 50% of the show, right? So that's one. So this particular set, this particular subset of the show is pretty interesting to me. So while Dream is trying to recover these things, he goes through some interesting experiences, and even we go through some interesting experiences. Like when he goes to hell and negotiates, or rather battles with the god of hell, or the ruler of hell, rather, Lucifer, is pretty interesting to me, because again, they are kind of having a duel of wherein they are one upping each other in terms of what they are. If I am a tiger, you are a hunter, and so on and so forth. And ultimately, again, spoiler alert, guys, I'm going to be talking about spoilers in this particular review. So ultimately, Dream wins when he says that I am hope. So there is nothing probably that can extinguish hope. So I found this particular encounter really interesting. So this was when he went and got his helm, which was in hell. So this is one encounter I found interesting. The other one that again I found interesting was the entire episode with the ruby. So this mortal is having the ruby, and he has modified it. So he has modified it, and now he is roaming around and spreading the word of truth. So there is a very interesting episode, which is the diner episode, wherein there are a lot of characters who are eating and interacting with one another, and this guy walks in with the ruby and compels them to say the truth. So again, TV shows that require you to go deeper than just what's happening on screen, and think what would happen if all of humanity was only allowed to say the truth, or rather forced to say the truth, rather than the facades or the mask that we are wearing, wherein we are lying about something or the other all the time. So what would happen if everyone was saying the truth? And it was kind of a gruesome episode. I think the reality is not really good, that humanity won't survive if everyone was saying nothing but the truth. So yeah, that particular episode I found it to be interesting. So this is kind of the first act, and the second act, when he has all his tools, now the concept of the vortex is there. So vortex is basically something where the dream world collapses into one, and the humanity will not survive if that happens. So I didn't like this vortex concept a lot. The reason being that vortex is played by a character called Rose Walker, and Rose Walker is really nice and reasonable, and there is no real threat there. I mean, it never felt that the dream world or humanity was really under threat, because it was very obvious that once Dream got a one-on-one or a face-to-face conversation with Rose Walker and explained the situation to her, she would be very open to sacrificing herself, because she is a nice person. So there was no real threat per se. I was never worried that humanity is going to end and Vortex is going to destroy the dream world, or it's going to bring the walls down on all the dreams, and dreamers are going to come together and all of that stuff. So the stakes were never real. You kind of knew that this was really not a threat for Dream as well. So I mean, yeah, kind of an okay plot, but I found it interesting because of the lot of because there were a lot of secondary characters that were interesting. So there was Corinthian. So Corinthian is one of the nightmares that has gone rogue and has escaped into the real world, as is going around terrorizing people. So a very interesting character. They could have made a lot more out of that particular character, because I think Corinthian met a very lame end. Just a dream confronted him, and kind of wiped him off the face of the earth or the dream world or whatever. So I think Corinthian could have been used to much better effect than they actually did. So yeah, second act was kind of not that great. Vortex concept was not really life threatening or the humanity threatening concept that they made it out to be. So yeah, second act was kind of weak, but again, there were a few things that I really liked. So one thing I probably did not mention is the scene wherein Death, the sibling of Dream, joins Dream, and they have a interaction and a conversation about life and death and all of that stuff. So again, an interesting conversation, that made you think something more about life and death and all of those things. So guys, all in all, a good TV show. Definitely, I'm looking forward to season two. They have done a lot of things in this particular season to set up season two. Lucifer is looking for revenge because kind of Dream humiliated while they had their duel. Dream humiliated Lucifer, so Lucifer is looking for revenge. The sibling of Dream, I think Desire, is the one who basically created the Vortex in season one, is definitely looking to do more in season two. So they have set up season two. I'm sure season two will come, because I've heard that there are a lot of volumes of Sandman that were released over probably 2 or 3 decades by the DC Comics. So I'm sure there will be more seasons, and I'm looking forward to them. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll be talking about a lot more in the future. Thank you so much.